All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to this week's edition of the news. In this week's edition, we're going to learn about continuous fiber in 3D printing and how that may affect people that 3D print at home. We're also going to talk about a 400-mile-an-hour drone, new updates to Home Assistant that'll affect you if you use the mobile app, and we're going to finish it up with a new milestone that Colts 3D hit that is absolutely tremendous. So if all that sounds good, then sit back and relax and let's dig into the news. All right, so the first story that I want to talk about today is using continuous fiber composites within 3D printing materials, which is something that we've kind of seen before with, carbon fiber and glass fiber being in the filament, but it's not a continuous fiber. In this article here, which is a great read, they talk about 3D printed composites represent a cutting edge advancement in additive manufacturing, offering the ability to fabricate high strength, which is what we've used these filaments for in the past. So in this article, they kind of go over what fibers are being used and what properties they bring, how printers are actually laying down continuous fiber, the hardware and the deposition methods, and then a newer idea called commingled materials, where the reinforcement and the plastic matrix are combined at the filament level before printing, aiming for better bonding and consistency. The big engineering problems here are thermoplastics are thick and sticky when melted, so it's hard for the plastic to fully soak into the fiber bundle. And they talk about this throughout all of this. So I'm kind of summarizing a lot of this, but if you want to dig in deep into this, look at it. But basically what they're saying is the big engineering problem with using continuous fiber in additive manufacturing is there's poor impregnation of the fiber, so the plastic doesn't fully penetrate the fiber. That leads to weak fiber to plastic adhesion. There's also little voids that can be created when it's done that way, and the fiber misalignment during the consolidation. So they go over some of the manufacturing and printing challenges and different things like that. This is really, really cool and interesting to read about how all of this stuff takes effect. There's some diagrams and stuff in here, how all of this stuff works with the commingling of the polymer fiber and like the carbon fibers in here, and the fused, kind of fused together that way. Why this really matters is like continuous fiber 3D printing can deliver high strength, lightweight, complex parts that industries like aerospace and automotive are investing in heavily. But to get real structural performance, the field still needs improvements in fiber impregnation, bonding, void reduction, nozzle design, and process control. Commingled feedstocks are one of the promising paths forward. What this means for us is if we can get this into our hands, then some of the parts that we print at home, can be as strong as what people are using in the industry and everything like that. And that's what the industry is trying to get as well, is this commingled with a continuous strand of carbon fiber, or I would imagine other type of filaments or fibers as well. So super interesting in how all of this is playing out. I think this is something to look forward to in the future as we're looking at printers with multiple nozzles, 2, 6, and above. I think things like this will be very relevant in the future. All right, in super cool drone news, Mike Bell and Luke Bell in Cape Town, South Africa set the world record for the fastest battery-powered RC quadcopter at over 408 miles per hour, or 658-ish kilometers per hour. They've been working on this drone for 2 years and set that record. This is the pair's third time achieving this record, having previously reached 480 kilometers per hour, as well as 580 kilometers per hour. And I believe part of the drone is 3D printed, and Josh Bardwell and some other people, I believe, have tried to recreate this drone, or at least the one that did 480 kilometers per hour. So super cool. Congratulations to these guys. A little bit late, a month late. But if you haven't checked this out, there's a couple of videos on YouTube about it as well. Really interesting to see. All right, now let's take a look at Home is Where the Dashboard is, or the first update to Home Assistant for 2026, which brings a refreshed home dashboard experience on mobile with summary cards right at your fingertips without extra taps. There are some really cool design upgrades here, or updates here. I really like the way that this looks. There's a new devices page, purpose, specific triggers and conditions. So a lot easier to do on your smartphone or on an iPad or tablet or something like that, which I do a fair amount of my Home Assistant stuff on a tablet these days. So be sure that you read through all of this documentation. I did just update my Home Assistant as well and started to take a look at some of these new UI changes and integrations. But there's already some cool stuff going on with Home Assistant in the very first of the year. Make sure that you read up on it. All right, and one last thing that I ran into that I thought was really cool, and if you didn't realize this is a really cool factoid or whatever, but back in May of last year, the Colts 3D community hit 12 million members, including 200,000 designers and 2.3 million 3D models to download for 3D printing, laser cutting, CNC machining, paper craft, sewing patterns, and PCBs. Really cool to see such a large community of makers and designers. If you do watch my live stream that comes out a little bit after the news, we do see quite a few prints from the Colts 3D community. If you have any of their prints and have a picture of it, be sure to send it to lindizzleprints@gmail.com, and I'll highlight it on the live stream coming up later. Congratulations to Colts 3D, and be sure to check out all of the cool stuff that you can download from their website. All right, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the news. If you liked any of the topics that we talked about today, be sure to smash that like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and help me hit the 10,000 subscribers in 2026. And if you have any topics that you'd like me to cover in the weekly news, be sure to send me an email at lindizzleprints@gmail.com. Be sure to join us on the live stream here coming up in just a little while. Until then, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody.